Hey, you. Yes, you. The one quietly carrying the weight of it all. The one who doesn't fall apart, not because you're unbreakable, but because you believe no one else will step in if you do. I don't know how long you've been holding everything together. Your job, your family, your emotions, your expectations. But I do know this, it's exhausting. And I'm not here to tell you to stay strong or to keep pushing. I'm writing because I see you, and I want to say something that maybe no one has said out loud to you in a very long time. It's okay to be tired. Not lazy, not weak, not dramatic, just human and tired. There is a kind of fatigue that doesn't come from lack of sleep, but from carrying too much for too long while pretending it's all fine. And you've done it beautifully, this dance of grace and grit. But I wonder, when was the last time someone held you? When was the last time you allowed yourself to fall apart? Not in secret, not behind closed doors, but in the open, where someone could offer you gentleness instead of judgment. I don't ask that to make you feel guilty. I ask because I think somewhere along the line, you convinced yourself that if you paused, if you crumbled even a little, everything else would collapse too. But maybe the truth is, the world won't fall apart if you loosen your grip. Maybe you're the one who needs to fall into something softer. Maybe you deserve a kind of peace that doesn't require you to earn it first. I know what it's like to be the one others rely on, to be the one who says, "I've got it," even when your hands are already full. You've become so good at being dependable, so skilled at managing chaos, that people have stopped asking if you're okay. They assume you are. But being good at holding things doesn't mean you don't need to be held. Being strong doesn't mean you never feel weak. And being the glue doesn't mean you never feel like breaking. In fact, it's often the ones who seem the most composed, the most resilient, who are quietly unraveling inside. You've built a world around stability, and somewhere in that scaffolding, you forgot you're allowed to wobble. You forgot that even the strongest structures need rest, need maintenance, need care. You're allowed to not always know what you're doing. You're allowed to say, "This is too much." You're allowed to not be everything for everyone all the time. Because when you are constantly managing every little piece, every emotion, every task, every expectation, something quiet inside you begins to disappear. Your joy, your softness, your sense of being held too. And I want to bring you back to that. If no one else has told you lately, let me be the one to say, you don't have to earn rest. You don't have to prove how hard things are in order to justify stepping back. You don't have to crash to be worthy of care. You don't have to be in crisis to be deserving of softness. You are allowed to rest simply because you're tired. And yes, I know the world doesn't pause when you do. The bills still come, the emails still ping, the people around you still need things. But here's what I hope you'll remember. Rest is not the opposite of responsibility. It is what sustains it. You cannot keep giving from a place that is empty. You cannot keep showing up for others if you keep vanishing from yourself. Maybe what you need isn't another to-do list. Maybe it's a moment. To sit, to breathe, to not perform, to not fix. To simply be a person, with needs and edges and emotions that matter too. And if you're afraid that putting something down means someone else will pick it up wrong, that letting go will lead to things falling apart, I get that. But control is a lonely kind of comfort. It gives you a sense of order, but it costs you your peace. It gives you results, but it takes away your ability to receive. Let people show up for you, even imperfectly. Let someone else carry the weight for a bit, even if they stumble. Let go of the myth that it's all on you, or that you're only valuable when you're useful. You are not a machine. You're a human being with a heart that wasn't made to be hardened by pressure, but softened by care. So please, if your shoulders ache not from physical weight but from emotional labor, if your chest feels tight not from running but from always bracing, if your smile feels more like a reflex than a reflection of how you truly feel, then take this letter as permission to pause. The world can wait a little longer. Your inbox can wait a little longer. And anyone who truly cares about you will want you to take this moment for yourself. If you've made it this far into the letter, you might still be whispering to yourself, "But I don't have time to rest. People depend on me. If I stop now, I'll fall apart and won't know how to get back up." And I hear you. I really do. Because the world doesn't always make space for your unraveling. Not when there are mouths to feed, deadlines to meet, roles to play. But can I tell you something hard and soft at the same time? You are already falling apart a little bit, quietly, in the places no one sees. The corners of your mind are cluttered with thoughts you don't have the energy to finish. Your patience is thinner. Your joy flickers. You hold it all up, but something inside you has started to slump. And the danger isn't in falling. The danger is in never allowing yourself to land somewhere safe. You don't have to crash. You can set yourself down. You can say, "This is enough for today." You can create a pause, one that you choose, not one that your body demands. Because burnout doesn't knock politely. It bursts through the door when you've ignored every earlier whisper asking you to slow down. So this letter is that earlier whisper. Let this be the moment before the breaking, the soft landing before the collapse. I don't know what rest looks like for you. Maybe it's not a full day off. Maybe it's 5 minutes of silence in your car before walking into work. Maybe it's stepping outside at night, staring up at a sky that doesn't ask anything of you. Maybe it's turning your phone off and letting the world forget you for a while so you can remember yourself. Rest doesn't have to be glamorous. It just has to be real. And here's another truth that took me too long to learn. You can be tired and still be worthy. You can need help and still be strong. You can ask for less without being less. Because despite everything you've told yourself, your value is not in your output, not in how much you get done, not in how well you hold it together, not in how gracefully you smile while your heart is breaking. Your value is not conditional. It is not measured by productivity or poise. It is inherent. And it remains whether or not you finish the list, answer the email, or show up with perfect composure. You are not valuable because you hold it all together. You are valuable even when you can't. So what would it look like just for today to put one thing down? Just one. That expectation you've been carrying about how you should be handling it all. That invisible rule that says you can't cry, can't pause, can't disappoint anyone? Lay it down. Let it breathe. Imagine your body without that weight. Imagine your heart with a little more room to expand. Imagine your life with one less thing you're pretending not to feel. What would that feel like? Liberating? Terrifying? Maybe both. That's okay. Rest doesn't always feel like peace at first. Sometimes it feels like guilt, like unease, like you're betraying some version of yourself who had it all under control. But let's be honest, that version of you was surviving, not thriving. And you, dear soul, you deserve more than survival. I'm not asking you to give up your strength. I'm asking you to redefine it. Because real strength isn't silent suffering. It's honest self-awareness. It's knowing when you've reached your limit and being brave enough to say, "That's as far as I can go today." It's holding space for your own humanity, not just everyone else's. You've built a life on showing up, and that matters. But now it's time to show up for you. Because if you don't, who will? You keep giving people the best of you, even when you're running on empty. But how long can you pour from a well you never stop to refill? Eventually, love becomes a transaction, presence becomes performance, and life starts to feel like something you manage, not something you live. So let's stop pretending. Let's stop pretending that strength means silence. Let's stop pretending that the only way to be good is to be exhausted. Let's stop pretending that holding it all together is the only thing keeping you from falling apart. Because maybe, just maybe, falling apart is what lets you finally feel whole again. This isn't the end of your strength. It's the beginning of something truer, a softer strength, a fuller life, one that includes you, not just your responsibilities. So breathe. In, out, again. Nothing is falling apart in this moment. Nothing needs fixing. You don't need to prove anything right now. You don't need to earn your rest. You don't need to keep holding everything. Just hold this breath, this moment, this letter, and let it hold you. If I could sit beside you right now, I wouldn't offer advice. I wouldn't hand you a checklist for how to feel better. I wouldn't tell you to stay positive or look on the bright side. I would sit in the silence with you. Let the quiet speak for itself. Let your shoulders drop just for a minute. Let you breathe like you haven't in weeks. Because sometimes what we need most isn't someone to fix us. It's someone who doesn't need us to be fixed. I'd remind you that you're allowed to be a whole person, messy, beautiful, unfinished. You're allowed to have days when you feel strong and days when you don't. You're allowed to have moments where you want to give up, even if you never do. You've already come so far. Look at you, still here, still showing up, still trying. Even when it's hard, especially when it's hard. That matters more than you think. And if no one else has told you this week, I'm proud of you. Not for what you've achieved, not for how well you've kept it together, but for the quiet, invisible things. For the way you keep choosing to care. For the way you keep getting back up. For the way you keep loving, even when you feel empty. I know it doesn't always feel like enough. But maybe that's because you've been measuring yourself with a ruler built for machines, not humans. You are not a task to complete. You are not a system to optimize. You are not falling behind. You're becoming. And that takes time. That takes tenderness. That takes the kind of courage no one sees, but you carry it every day. So let this be your permission slip. To rest without guilt, to feel without judgment, to speak without apology. You don't have to hold it all together today. The world won't end if you put something down. It might actually start to open. Someone else might step in. The sun might feel softer. Your own breath might sound like forgiveness. Because you are not failing. You are simply full. Full of stories, full of effort, full of love that you've given freely and often. And now it's your turn to receive, to refill, to remember who you are when you're not performing strength. With so much softness and all the space in the world for your tired heart, this letter was always meant for you, and it always will be. Take care of you. You deserve to. Always. Me.